Welcome to Tarot Tuesday. Today is February 4th, 2025. This reading is for February 5th through February 11th. And today we will be using the TV series Tarot deck. Like every week, we will do a 5-card pull. This is an interesting deck that was picked up while I was in St. Augustine, Florida. I found it in a little shop along the way and had to give it a try. Alright, let's see what our week has in store for us. We'll go this way, straight across. So first and foremost this week, we have what would be considered the Two of Wands. Now what the Two of Wands is showing us here in this example is that essentially we have the world in front of us. Our choices are there. We can take any way we want to go. But ultimately, it's up to us to decide where we want to put our focus on, where we want to achieve to be at this point in time. Now, ironically, we have the two different flags that's standing on either side of this man, and he's just watching. And I know the world is in a lot of peril at the moment, a lot of questions, a lot of unique things happening at this point in time in our history. But this reminds us to watch the world as a whole, not just as one small facet. Experience life all the way around, not just the small pieces that we tend to pay attention to. In other words, don't be lost in the forest because you're focusing on a tree, or because you're focusing on only one part of the world. Now, this card specifically usually is considered more of a scary card by most because it's along the lines of the Death card. The reason this presents itself to us is because it tells us that unless we can figure out a way that we can cohabitat, and get along with others, we're really not doing any justice to ourselves or anyone else. So we have to look at why they're facing us, what troubles they are, and what we're going to do moving forward from here. Because if we don't, and we just stand back and let chaos reign and win, unfortunately, it's not a pleasant outcome. This also includes our thought processes as well. Now, what I bring to you with this next card, it's a little bit of hope, but as well as understanding. And the reason I say understanding is because, sometimes we need to take a minute, step back, and find our vices, or how we choose to relax. Be it movies, the internet, a drink here and there, something to smoke. But we have to acknowledge that these pieces are part of us. And in order for us to move forward, we have to be able to enjoy a little bit of these things as well. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. In the same token, all play and no work gets you nowhere but disaster. So remind yourself, remember the things that bring you that moment of joy, that moment of peace. Remind yourself of that this week and find those moments to take your peace, to break your mind away, and to quit focusing on all of the world and just have a moment to focus on you and what you need to sustain. Now the Two of Swords. This continues on with needing these things because you have your heart focused, but as well as you have your relaxed, more lenient, if you will. This shows you almost the fact that there's two sides to every story, there's two sides to every situation, and you have to find that balance. Well, standing your ground this week. Make sure you stand your ground, but you find the balance. You don't have to win every fight. You don't have to fight every battle. Remember that this week. You can stand your ground while still focused on the other things that need done, as well as enjoying yourself. And we're going to close up this week with what would be considered the Three of Pentacles. Now, this card represents a couple things for us here. One of the things, we have the worker here working on the pillar. We have somebody praising the fact that it's even being done. And then we have somebody else that looks... They look like they could be hiding from the shadow a little bit, but the fact that they're focusing on the book here is what really stands out to me. Now, pentacles are usually meant more for materialistic, physical world items, things, beliefs. Look, the work's getting done, but sometimes we have to let the work for itself. The fact that we have movement in our lives this week, the fact that there's things we can definitely be very grateful for this week, doesn't change the fact that we should be grateful for the things that are placed in front of us. Whether we know how they got there or not, be grateful for those things. Make sure you put in the hard work, though, that will continue to bless you with those things, as well as taking the time to maybe step out of the shadow of it all and do the research, do the study, do the planning, because that's how you will succeed this week. Listen, this week brings us a large array of a lot of very heavy subjects as we're going into the middle of February here. And as we lead towards the middle of February, we're reminded today, again, look, keep an eye on things, watch things. We have many different things we can focus on. We have many different paths we can take with it. It's all a matter of what do we choose to focus on and when. If we let our worries, our concerns, or even our stubborn ways get in front of us, it's not going to end pretty. It's not going to be pleasant for us or anyone around us, because we have that tendency to get too caught in our own heads. So sometimes we need to take that break. We need to have that breather. We need to find that peace, that moment of relaxation. So we can have our level head. We can stand firm. We can stand ground and say, look, whether it's work or play, I've got this. Because I stand strong on my beliefs, my facts, my morals, my understandings, and I can handle what comes at me. And we sit and we plan. We praise the things that have come to us this week. We work hard to continue for those things to come into our lives and open that abundance up into our lives. But at the same time, we plot and plan. Where do we go from here? Because if we just waste it, if we squander it, it doesn't come together as a whole picture now, does it? So folks, this week, focus on these things as we face another week. And I will see you again for the next Tarot Tuesday.